Tonight on NewsVision, 3 dead after a mass shooting at Michigan State University. We'll tell you how the community is recovering just 3 days after the attack.
We know as a campus that we have hard work ahead of us.
Plus, if you own a skateboard, scooter, or bike, you might want to lock it up. There have been multiple robberies on campus, and now someone's been arrested for it.
I definitely believe that theft is a problem on most college campuses.
And find out how Black history will be celebrated during tonight's women's basketball game.
Good evening and welcome to NewsVision. I'm Justice Johnson.
And I'm Bella Papaduke. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Do you ride a scooter, skateboard, or bike to campus? If you do, be sure to lock it up correctly because this week a man was caught stealing multiple scooters around campus. UMPD sent out an email about the alleged transportation thief, and they asked students to notify the police if they see the accused man on campus. An alleged thief arrested in connection with thefts on our Coral Gables campus. This man, pictured right here, is accused of stealing multiple scooters around campus during a time UMPD says campus has experienced a large number of scooter thefts. UMPD sent out a crime alert email on Monday to notify students and the campus community of this thief. The email urged students to notify the police if they see this man on campus and register your scooter with the school and get the appropriate lock. Being stolen aren't your regular Razor push scooters. These are electric scooters that ride up to around 15 miles per hour. A popular brand of the electric scooters is GoTrax that retails close to $400. But this crime is not just limited to the scooter riding community on campus. It affects many other students who ride bikes and skateboards.
I definitely believe that theft is a problem on most college campuses.
Graduate student Emma Alonso recently had her bike stolen.
I use that bike every day to get to work. It was very, very disheartening to see that the bike was gone.
Emma reported the stolen bike to the Coral Gables police and UMPD, but to her surprise, she found the stolen bike herself back on campus, but with someone else riding it. This right here is Emma's stolen bike. It's remained locked up on campus for the past week because she saw another person riding it and reported that to UMPD. What did they do? They came and locked it up with one of their own locks because this person riding it did not have the appropriate lock. They brought their own lock, as you can see right there. UMPD also left a notice on the bottom of the bike saying this person has 24 hours to reclaim the bike or else they're going to take it into their possession. I reached out to UMPD for an interview, but have not yet heard back. UMPD has emailed students a few crime prevention tips. Be sure to lock your bicycles and scooters on a rack using a UM-approved U-lock. Also, trust your instincts. If a suspicious person or vehicle seems to be following you, get to the nearest safe place as soon as possible and call the police and report it right away.
Earlier this week, dragons and drummers turned the lakeside patio on campus into a red and gold paradise to celebrate the Lunar New Year. The annual festival, run by the Asian American Student Association, brought Chinese culture to Miami. Guests were greeted by a fun passport-style game. They had a chance to travel in a way through different Asian countries sponsored by various student organizations. The event also provided food from Sushi Maki, fun-filled games from many student organizations, and beautiful demonstrations from performers.
This year, we're hosting the 11th annual Lunar New Year Festival. It's a collaboration between the Asian American Students Association and the Chinese Student Scholars Association to celebrate the Lunar New Year.
This Lunar New Year brings us the Year of the Rabbit. And another celebration on campus with a unique twist, one exhibit has aimed at bringing together art, technology, history, and most importantly, culture. In celebration of Black History Month, a new student organization on campus called Black Creatives Collective partnered with the Black Awareness Month Committee to put on the inaugural art exhibition this February to showcase art produced by students. Its title is Visions, Interpretations of Afrofuturism. The curations gave a look into a possible future Black art. The works included clay figurines, a projected photo series, and futuristic paintings. There were even student musical performances. The Black Creatives Organization wants to publish the works in permanent spaces around campus and also share them digitally. The idea is to hold this event every year.
And speaking of celebrations, people around the country marked Valentine's Day on Tuesday. And here on campus, the Miami music fraternity Phi Mu Alpha surprised students with singing Valentines. Leading up to Valentine's Day, the fraternity sold about 170 orders of singing candygrams to raise money for their chapter. Fraternity members delivered these Valentines during classes, popping into rooms when students least expected it.
Like, obviously we are providing a service, but it's more of taking a step back and saying, wow, this is just trying to make as many people's days as possible, professors, students, staff, faculty, family.
Values.
Since the early 1980s, the University of Miami has set aside one specific Saturday with a special group of South Florida residents in mind. Reporter Wyatt Kopelman has the story.
Spending a Saturday afternoon at the University of Miami meant more to Brian Paglino than just walking around a college campus. He got to spend the school's annual fun day doing something he looked forward to for weeks.
Be with my buddies.
Do you find that hard, or?
Yeah.
What's hard about being with your buddies?
Be nice with my friends.
Throughout his life, Brian has lived with a combination of autism and Down syndrome in Miami Springs. But at Fun Day, the 51-year-old joined others from South Florida with developmental disabilities to engage in everyday activities.
I just think it helps them have a great day where they feel normal because they are normal, but sometimes they're not treated like that in society. So I think just having a day where they can connect with us, have a lot of fun activities, just helps them a lot.
As a psychology major, Charlotte finds meaning in building connections with people, even if they cannot find and make those on their own. And meeting Brian gave her confidence in how she would give him a day to remember.
I think it's definitely more the interaction where they get to meet us, have conversations with us, and just have a good time. And then the activities are like a bonus, but it's definitely the interaction that they look forward to.
Brian enjoyed time with arts and crafts and karaoke, but his adventure gave him and his friends more than just time away from their daily routines. It reminded people of a specific misunderstanding.
I really feel like it's just a day where we can realize that we're not much different and that we can still communicate with these individuals and share joy and passion and happiness of just doing fun things like karaoke and, you know, doing crafts together. It's really beautiful to see that everyone can just kind of come together for a day and just have fun, not worry about anything else that's going on in life.
I love you. I love you. Whether he paints or dances, exploring art has left Brian with achievement. And while the location of his next adventure is uncertain, Brian can always find one at UM. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Wyatt Kopelman.
Election season has begun at the University of Miami for the next school year. Campaigning started on Monday with events such as Meet the Candidates and a vote rally. And tonight there's a debate at the RAT. Reporter Charlie Hill is live at the Rathskeller with more details. Charlie, what can you tell us about tonight's event?
Yeah, Bella, well, tonight student government is having a debate here at the Rathskeller, better known as the RAT, and it's actually the first time that a student government debate has been held here. But this is all for students to get the chance to talk to the candidates and submit questions and ask them what their goals and initiatives will be for the upcoming school year. The debate is going to be moderated by the elections committee, and just some of the people you may find on the ballot are all about the U, and all about the you and individual people running for student government positions, and also undeniable you. And the first people that were able to come to the RAT, the first 70, were able to receive a free RAT voucher for food. But if you missed out on tonight's event, do not worry, because the only thing you missed out on was the free food, because you just head right on over to sg.miami.edu for more information. Reporting live for UMTV, I'm Charlie Hill, sending it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Charlie. It's time for a short break now, but up next we'll bring you the latest on the deadly Michigan State University shooting. Stay with us.
Michigan State University community is grieving after a gunman killed 3 students and critically injured 5 others Monday night. Law enforcement officials say a murderer is a 43-year-old man who killed himself after the shooting. Police have not found a clear motive for the massacre yet, but they say the shooter was carrying weapons, ammo, and a note potentially listing more targets. The Michigan State community is trying to heal from the shooting. All classes at the university have been canceled through the end of the week and are expected to resume on Monday, February 20th. Our thoughts go out to the students and faculty of MSU.
The Michigan State shooting came just hours before the 5-year anniversary of the Deadland school shooting in Parkland, Florida. Hundreds of people gathered Tuesday near Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School to honor the 17 people, those being the 14 students and the 3 adults, that were killed on Valentine's Day in 2018. Surviving students and families launched the March for Our Lives movement to bring awareness to the issue. Convicted Parkland shooter Nicholas Cruz was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Hurricane Ian made landfall back in September on the west coast of Florida as a strong Category 4 storm and became the 3rd costliest storm to ever hit the United States. Those damages are still affecting coastal communities months after. After having their homes damaged by the 150-mile-per-hour winds, many families from Southwest Florida have been living in their cars or RVs. Only a few of these families have insurance to cover the damage. The Federal Emergency Management Agency approved direct housing to 3,000 households, but 5 months later, only 225 have received it. FEMA says federal regulations are making it harder to deliver the housing, but they have provided thousands of families with bonuses for rents and repairs.
Former South Carolina Republican Governor Nikki Haley is making it official. She's running for president in 2024. Haley served in the Trump administration as ambassador to the United Nations. She says she believes it's time for a new generation to lead the United States. She's quoted saying, "We're ready to move past the state.
Ready to move past the stale ideas and faded names of the past. And we are more than ready for a new generation to lead us into the future."
As the daughter of Indian immigrants, Haley is proud to identify as a woman of color. If chosen as the Republican candidate, Haley would be the first woman and the first Asian American to represent the GOP in a presidential election.
The Chinese balloon shot down off the coast of South Carolina has drawn many questions about the security of American airspace. This week, the White House and various intelligence officials released information to keep the American people informed. Both groups agree that the balloon likely drifted into American airspace on accident due to strong winds. However, the groups have different ideas on the dangers the balloon posed. The White House believes that the balloon was being flown for harmless purposes, and the U.S. intelligence community believes the balloon was intended to spy, even if it drifted off course. The difference has created confusion in the minds of many Americans.
There are times when national security demands secrecy. I get it. I'm an intel officer by trade. I think now is a time that demands complete transparency. Americans are unnerved. They're concerned about the idea that we don't have complete control over what's happening in our airspace.
China denies the balloon was a spying device. Investigators are examining the remains of that balloon to find exactly what its purpose was supposed to be.
Residents in East Palestine, Ohio are starting to return home after a train carrying hazardous materials derailed almost 2 weeks ago. The anxious residents are holding meetings about safety and demanding answers on the leak. No one was injured in the accident, but the town of nearly 5,000 was evacuated to avoid a deadly explosion. Fire broke out because of the train derailment, and it was just put out over a week ago. Crews also completed a controlled explosion to release some of the hazardous chemicals. Now residents are demanding answers and want the railroad to take responsibility.
Railroad did us wrong. So far they've worked with us and they're fixing it. But if that stops, I will guarantee you I will be the first one in line to fight that.
Evacuation order was lifted after the smoke from the explosion cleared. Officials say the air is safe, but residents complain of a lingering odor. Residents have also been instructed to only use bottled water until the local water supply can be tested. And back here on campus this week, the weather has been absolutely gorgeous, Bella.
Yes, Justice, we even had a few cool days to start off the week, and I really hope we can keep up the streak of nice weather into the weekend.
I agree. Let's go to our student meteorologist, Charlotte Carl, who's actually in here in the studio with us.
Charlotte, can you please tell us we can look forward to some nice weather this weekend?
Well, I have good news and bad news for you guys. We have had another beautiful day here in Miami. Right now we're at 76 degrees and our radar is clear. We did have some showers this morning up near West Palm Beach, but I wanted to show you all the national radar because right now there's a giant low pressure system sitting over the Midwest with severe storms branching off to the southeast. These storms have caused multiple tornadoes to touch down today and have had severe weather warnings, all types of weather associated with this thing. So this has resulted in the Storm Prediction Center issuing an enhanced risk for today. This was actually the first convective outlook issued by a woman. Now, an enhanced risk is a level 3 out of 5. This also means that there was a higher risk for tornadoes today. This is a 10% chance of significant tornadoes happening. So if you know anyone in this area, make sure to tell them to stay weather aware. As for us in Miami, we have a clear evening ahead of us. Another beautiful night. Our low temperature tonight is 74 degrees, but tomorrow we're going to be flirting with those record highs. Now, we are forecasting a high of 86 degrees and our record high is 87 degrees, which was set back in 2001. Now, part of that is attributed to a southerly wind shift that we are going to see tomorrow. We're also tracking a stationary front, which is likely going to stall out over central Florida, although we are going to see some isolated showers Friday night into Saturday morning as a result of this front. I did want to point out that on Sunday, we are going to see more consistent showers with some longer lasting storms. These are not going to be widespread, but after that, high pressure is going to build back into our area. This is going to cause us to have above average temperatures for the second half of next week, in addition to the next 10 days, which you see here. The red colors indicate that they are going to be higher than average temperatures in our area. Now, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We have high temperatures after the weekend building back in. Back to you, Andrew.
Well, thank you, Charlotte. And coming up on NewsVision, we'll tell you about all things sports. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a short break.
Owen, let's talk for a second.
Hi, Ellen. Come on in.
When you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
It'll come to you.
It won't.
We had a lot to learn about each other. A lot. Hey, looks good. Things were changing so quickly. We We didn't know what the future would hold. Any of us. I just wish he felt more at home now. But we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life. And I am so proud to call you my son.
Welcome to sports. Klein. Miami basketball is still rolling, and the team currently holds a 21-5 record. They went up to Chapel Hill earlier this week to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels. Let's take a look at how it went down. Miami and North Carolina early in this one. Ball is tipping around. Jordan Miller's got it, looking for a teammate, and there's Nigel Pack in the corner. Pack buries the three of his 23 on the day. Now an Isaiah Wong miss. A Jordan Miller fight for the rebound. Miller backing down, spins, whoop, layup, and one. Jordan with 24 and 11 for the Hurricanes. Miami now leading in the second half, but North Carolina not going away. Leaky Black, the fake step back, buries the jumper. That cuts the lead to 11 in the second half. Ensuing Miami possession, Harlan Beverly to Anthony Walker. Thought about the three, jab step, one dribble, pull up, connects. Miami's going back up by 13. Now late in this one, Tar Heels not going away. Caleb Love from way downtown shot that one from Durham. They cut it to 4. Miami gets 3. RJ Davis misses. Isaiah Wong the rebound. And it would be a free throw fest from there on out. Miami wins 80-72 on the road. And this Sunday was the NFL season finale, the Super Bowl. And it was one of the best Super Bowl games we've seen in years. Chiefs and Eagles from Arizona. We'll start off with this play. Kadarius Toney, whoop, wakes one man miss. He's going back to the right. He's got a field in front of him and white jerseys to block. Look at Toney up the sideline, 65 yards, the longest return from a punt in Super Bowl history. He didn't score, but here are the Chiefs. Mahomes, dime. Sky Moore, his only catch of the day. Mahomes, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, no sacks. First quarterback in Super Bowl history to do that. Here's Jalen Hurts. He broke some records himself. Devonta Smith, wide open. Couldn't score, but the Eagles do. Now Hurts going left, trying to tie the game. That injured right shoulder, he does not care. He buries his way into the end zone. And of course, you know how this one ended. Harrison Butker, a game winner. Chiefs by 3, their second Super Bowl in the last 4 years. And finally, the Miami women's basketball team is hosting the Clemson Tigers right now, and they're looking to complete the season sweep. But for some students, tonight is more than just the game. Lead reporter Daryl Barnes is live outside the Watsco Center. Daryl, what's so special about tonight's game?
Andrew, tonight's game is the Canes' annual Black History Month celebration. That means the squad is wearing special edition uniforms like these right here, but that's not the only draw to tonight's game. That's because the National Pan-Hellenic Council, those are the black fraternities and sororities on campus, they came out here and they were stepping and strolling at halftime. Those dances that you're kind of seeing right here on the screen next to me, these are historical movements that celebrate the organization's history and African descent. And members of these organizations were super excited to have this platform to celebrate.
We are small in numbers, but we are very mighty. We are all doing very amazing things, spectacular things, and we are all going places. So I think that's what we should take away from this.
Aside from the halftime performance itself, the Canes are currently leading 51-42 over the Clemson Tigers. Still plenty of basketball to be played here in this fourth quarter of action, but there's also plenty of celebrating to be done all February long by organizations like the NPHC. Outside the Watsco Center, Daryl Barnes, UMTV, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Daryl. Let's go Canes. We'll take another quick break, but when we return, UMTV's late night comedy show Off the Wire will have its first show tonight in Studio C. Doors open at 8:15, so make sure to check it out and possibly have a laugh. We'll be right back.
Talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is me? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You didn't even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Thank you for staying with NewsVision. One church in South Miami held its annual prom night called Night to Shine. Hundreds of people attended the event that honors people with disabilities. Reporter Justin Walkeny was one of those attendees.
VU Church has been in partnership with the former Florida Gators quarterback Tim Tebow and his foundation since 2018, hosting the annual Night to Shine prom night to honor and appreciate those with disabilities.
Our pastor, he has a relationship with Tim Tebow, and he heard about this organization, the Tim Tebow Foundation, and about Night to Shine. He was like, we need to do it. And so we were like, let's do it.
Upon the guests' arrival, they made their grand red carpet entrance and were treated to limousine rides, a catered dinner, live music, and more in a night full of dancing, prayer, and love.
Individuals with special needs, they can sometimes feel inferior to other people, or they feel like, oh, they have a disability. And it's like, no, they just have a different ability. And so I think that this night reminds them that, like, hey, you're not different. Like, for us, Jesus is our message here at our church, so we want to remind them that they're loved.
And while this evening was really one to remember for everyone involved, this particular pair surely will never forget the moment their lives changed forever.
When I turned around, my brother comes to me and saying to me, will you marry me? Like, I said yes. It was 100% yes.
For Stephanie Varela and her family, it was a pleasant surprise when her longtime partner Luis Espinoza proposed to her.
I feel pretty amazing, but I think in my head when you proposed to me, it was like, I'm getting so emotional right now. I am very, very happy for him. I'm so happy.
It's been a very special night, needless to say, and he's a very special young man. And of course, she said yes. What can I tell you? He's a great guy, and I just want the best for both of them.
Through this event, Night to Shine aims to bring light and exposure to the disabled community, and Gina Varela believes this has had a massive impact on the community's growth.
I think that disabled children and adults have a lot more services today. I think people are including them a lot more. I think there's a lot more unity. So for the future, I see a bright future because they have so many opportunities now.
And of course, Luis and Stephanie are grateful and will continue to look forward to their prom night each year, together as life partners.
Thank you, Tim Tebow, for making this amazing event for us. Thank you.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Justin Walkeny.
What a beautiful story. Student stress levels are rising with classwork ramping up, but last Tuesday on campus, an event brought some possum surprises. It included Furry Friends wagging their tails to provide UM Law students with a very interactive study break. Students got the chance to pet some rescue animals from a local shelter to reduce anxiety. The event was organized by UM Student Animal Legal Defense Fund.
We partnered with the Humane Society they're working on legislation in different cities to ban the sale of puppies in pet stores because a lot of those puppies come from puppy mills.
Organizers wanted to share the message adopt, don't shop, to inform people of the correct ethical decisions when buying pets. The event also helped puppies become more comfortable around young adults. And as you can see, it was nothing short of a success.
And speaking of some more cute animals, there are 3 brand new ones in Zoo Miami, and they are adorable. Take a look at these little babies. The newborns are North American river otter new pups, and they were born last weekend. The trio is the first ever otter species to be born at Zoo Miami. Zoo officials say the 3 pups all appear healthy, and their mom is taking very good care of them. North American river otters can survive in the wild about 10 years, but under human care, they can live twice as long. Otters have to be some of the cutest animals out there.
I totally agree, and it's so funny that their names are also pups because we have puppies.
I know, right? And that's it for this week's edition of NewsVision. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll be back at this time next week. Have a great night, and most importantly, stay safe.